Calgary Stampeders to host more than 22,000 fans at McMahon Stadium. Calgary The Calgary Stampeders haven't hosted a home game since October 19, 2019, but a 658-day streak without football finally comes to an end on Saturday. An expected crowd of 22,000 people will flood through the gates of McMahon Stadium when Calgary kicks off its 2021 CFL season at 5 p.m. Mountain Time against the Toronto Argonauts. The return to the gridiron marks the largest major sporting event gathering since the COVID-19 pandemic began, but some restrictions are still in play to create a safer environment for fans. One of the biggest changes will be McMahon Stadium's move to an entirely paperless, cashless venue with only electronic tickets and debit or credit transactions accepted. There is no requirement for masking or physical distancing, no restrictions on re-entry and no limit on the stadium's capacity or seating, which can hold up to 36,650 people at one time. The Stamps confirmed to CTV News that patrons will however see an increase in hand sanitizing stations, more consistent cleaning of washrooms and the addition of portable washrooms to alleviate long lineups. Some staff members at the stadium will also be required to complete a rapid COVID test before starting their shift. Saturday's Stamps game is the first large-scale sporting event in the Calgary area since the onset of the pandemic, but other smaller games have recently taken place. Cavalry FC, for example, hosted a half-capacity crowd of about 2,600 people on Tuesday at Spruce Meadows. The Okotoks Dogs Baseball Club have also been playing games south of Calgary at McMahon Stadium for more than a month. Proof of vaccination not required. Proof of vaccination is not required in Calgary, which has raised concerns amongst public health experts, including Dr. Noel Gibney, who sits as a co-chair on the Edmonton Zone Medical Staff Association Strategic Pandemic Committee. "There's no question that to a certain extent, we're poking the bear with this," he said. "I guess, in due course we will know in about 2 to 3 weeks' time, if indeed we see another spike in Calgary rates of COVID as a consequence of this event." Gibney admits that outdoor events are much safer and come with less risk of spreading COVID than indoor gatherings, but says there is great concern as close groups of people yell and cheer. "The real risk is in the stands where everyone is expelling a lot of droplets into the air, so when the Stamps are running upfield towards the goal line and people are cheering them on, that's when the risk is the greatest." Fans who choose to wear masks at McMahon Stadium will not be turned away, but the Stampeders have asked anyone who is not feeling well to please stay home and watch the game on television. Meanwhile, other CFL teams like the Winnipeg Blue Bomber are fans to provide proof of vaccination, in line with Manitoba's public health orders. In Edmonton, COVID-19 protocols are very similar to Calgary, but a mobile vaccination clinic will be set up on site for fans to receive an immunization before the game. As of Thursday, 76.2% of eligible Albertans 12 years old and above have at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, including 66.4% who are fully vaccinated. Gibney notes that one of the largest concerns remains in Alberta's younger population, where the 20 to 24 age group has the lowest rate of vaccination, with 66.4% who have one dose and 50.4% who are fully vaccinated. Hinshaw, COVID is one of many risks. Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health Dr. Dina Hinshaw is reiterating that the COVID-19 virus is still present across the province, but it must be something the greater population learns to live with. Speaking on the topic of hosting full large-scale CFL games, she notes that open-air environments are amongst the safest. "Outdoor activities are safer than indoor for those fans who have both doses of vaccine, so I think, again, this is the absolute best choice that people can make for themselves and those around them," Hinshaw said. "When it comes to fans in the stands, again I think we need to consider COVID as one of many risks, and so I think this is an opportunity to get back to some of the activities that people enjoy while at the same time recognizing COVID-19 will be with us for a long time to come." With respect to not requiring proof of vaccination, Hinshaw says that was a provincial policy decision that will not change for sporting events, but notes there are companies and organizations that can still put that mandate in place. Again, we need to do this in a way that takes forward all of the best lessons that we've learned from COVID-19, but then integrates that risk into everything else. So I would just encourage everyone who's considering going to those games to not go if you're feeling sick, and to make sure that you're making those decisions, thinking about your own health and the health of others.